Hello everyone, today we're joined by Paul Bristow, the new MP for Peterborough, the new Conservative MP for Peterborough. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Well, thank you for having me in your show.
Yeah, how's the new job going?
This is the best job I'm ever going to have.
Yep.
And I've got it for 4 years and I think it's 2 months left.
Right.
Hopefully I've got it for 24 years, but if I've got it just for 4 years, I'm just going to have the best time I can possibly have. At the same time, doing my bit for Peterborough, making sure that we make this city feel a lot better about itself, getting the levelling up agenda for my city, but at the same time, just having great fun. Yeah,
because you have campaigned before, you stood for elections. How did this campaign feel? Did it feel differently, the vibe and the reception you got from the constituents?
Well, Peterborough's my city. It's where I grew up. It's where
so you weren't sent from somewhere else randomly?
No. So I went to school at the Harry Smith Community College in Whittlesea, just outside Peterborough. I grew up there. My parents worked in the Peterborough NHS all their life. Well, the vast majority of their lives, and it's just great to represent somewhere you care so passionately about. That's why I say Peterborough's my city.
Right. And you're a Brexiteer?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So what is actually happening with that? Because obviously we did get Brexit done, but now the Brexit trade talks going on. What's your impression, the government's position and the party, how's that going? Positive?
Well, I mean, I think it's important that we hold firm. I think people voted Boris because they knew they've got somebody who A, believes in Brexit, and B, is going to ensure that we hold firm on our red lines. Yes, we have our friends in the European Union. We want a free trade agreement with them. We want a partnership with them. But at the same time, there's a real exciting world out there. I've joined the all-party parliamentary group on Canada, on Australia and New Zealand, on the Commonwealth, and I'm excited about the trade opportunities that exist outside the European Union. Of course, there's America as well. I'm really ambitious for this country. We want a good trade relationship with the European Union, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to have a trade agreement with us, I don't think we should be scared about going out there and trading alone.
You're right, because you mentioned the Commonwealth, and one thing that's happened over the last 3 decades under the EU, we basically abandoned the Commonwealth, and it's time to take back control and actually open up the routes.
Let me just ask you this. A small example of our overseas territories.
Yeah.
How much do you think a country like Russia or China would pay for a network of overseas territories like the UK have? And we don't even value them in the way that we should. And so we've got those overseas territories, but we've also got the Commonwealth, and we don't use that historic influence we have and that historic reach we have in the way we should.
Right. And are you positive that we could potentially get a trade deal by December? Or, I mean, because with the government's very strong that, if not, we are prepared to go out on WTO until we continue the trade talks. So do you think we have to kind of compromise?
Well, I think in a few days we're about to publish our initial offer to the European Union. And I think if they are willing to play ball, they understand that a good relationship is in everyone's interests, I think things... I'm very confident we can get that deal.
Yeah, so we're doing this interview today on the day of the budget. We had the new Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, obviously announcing the new details. You were in the chamber. What's your impression? How's everything going today?
It was my first budget. It was so exciting. I was sat there on the back benches. So I got in today about, 8:15, 8:20. And I assumed everywhere would be full of green cards and everyone kind of get in there. And I found 2 or 3 spaces at the top, right at the back benches. Yeah. So they were free, and so I got my ticket in there, and I was in the chamber to hear what I thought was a really well. It's a fun budget. It was an excellent budget. We're actually turning the taps on for the first time, and we're spending in the places that we need to be spending. I've waited a long time for a Conservative government like this that is going to invest and level up in the North and the Midlands and in my city, Peterborough. So I'm really excited about what this budget can bring for my city. But at the same time, I was also really excited about the tax cut for working people. We're increasing the national living wage. We're making sure that the threshold when you start paying tax is increasing. So this is more money in everyone's pocket. I think the Chancellor today said I think it's 5,200 or 5,400, something like that. More money. It's £5,400 more in the average. I think it's in the minimum. An average person on minimum wage, 2 people earning will be £5,400 better off than they were in 2010. And that benefits my city, Peterborough, massively, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, there were some good bits from the budget. Obviously, from my perspective, it's too much spending, too much borrowing, but I guess, as you said, sometimes it's needed at this point of the years of austerity. But I just hope that we don't go too far in the next budget.
But he also talked about fiscal responsibility as well, didn't he?
He did,
yes. So he was very clear about that at the same time.
He did, yes.
So we've got ourselves down, I think, from the deficit. It was enormous, and now it's down to a manageable level. That's why we can start doing the things we can do.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of the spending is actually temporary because of the health situation that's going around.
Serious.
Yeah. What is your impression? Because obviously you work in Parliament. A lot of people around. Yeah. Some people out there are. Obviously, everyone's trying to be careful, look after themselves. Some people are panicking. Some people are not. What's your take on this? And what's your advice?
Well, I think we've just got to follow the professional advice from the Chief Medical Officer and Professor Whitty. I am on the Health and Social Care Select Committee, so I've heard a lot from Professor Whitty, and I think we're very lucky to have very senior people, very responsible people giving us public health advice. So I think we should just be following that. Keep calm and carry on. It's not a time for hoarding. It's not a time for panic. It's not a time for
stockpiling.
Stockpiling. It's definitely not a time for stockpiling. It's keep calm and carry on time.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the health stuff. I believe one of your campaigns, actually, areas that you focus on is autism and things like that. Do you want to talk about that?
Autism is a condition whose time has come. I think because you can't see it, a lot of people don't believe that autism is a condition that deserves the attention it merits. And it really does, because I met so many people out on the campaign in my constituency who care for people with autism or have autism. And sometimes, autism it defines who you are. A lot of people don't see themselves as having a problem at all. Not everyone's brain works in the same way. And I think we just need to understand that a lot more as a society. And I've joined the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Autism. I'm now the chair of the parliamentary champion, of the Conservative Disability for a group. And I want to do what I can to champion conditions like autism. Right, yeah, and because obviously these sort of things affect everywhere in the country, but clearly you care about Peterborough and your constituency quite a lot. My city.
Because recently you defended your city against a wrestler, I believe. We're going to show a clip of what happened, and we're going to actually talk about it. But let's watch a clip of this.
Take your nice fancy suit, your stupid tie, and get out of the ring before you get yourself hurt.
So yeah, what happened? What's the story behind that?
So a lot of colleagues have been coming up to me and asking, what's this wrestling thing about? So as well as having the largest arms in the House of Commons, I've been talking a lot about, it's fun. I mean, a friend of yours and a friend of mine, my guy who does a lot of my social media, Graham, he's a massive wrestling fan. And he talked to this promotion that was in Peterborough, and we decided, can we do some sort of stunt? But I tell you what, there was a bully boy wrestler who talked down my city. And I won't have it. So I went along and I confronted him.
And you won.
And I didn't win. Well, I just told him, I'm no match for this guy in the ring. This guy's bigger than me, stronger than me, more athletic than I am. He's younger than me, sadly. But what I did do is I made sure that he understood he couldn't come to Peterborough, talk down my city, and I cost him the British Heavyweight Championship. So there's a degree of revenge in there.
Oh wow, that's great. I think everybody enjoyed that, because when it came in the news, everyone was surprised. What's going on? Is a Tory MP going around wrestling people? But I think it was a good stunt, and people enjoyed it.
Stunt? It was very serious.
It was very serious. Definitely nothing. But yeah, so is wrestling real? What's going on with wrestling? Is how much of it is? I mean,
they're professional athletes doing their thing in the ring.
right. That's the line. Brilliant. It is entertaining. That's all that matters. But one of the things we're actually doing, because I've been speaking to a lot of the new Conservative MPs, when it comes to our freedoms, free speech. There's a lot of people who are now starting kind of to defend free speech. We have a situation where there have been proposals like Ofcom potentially censoring social media and everything. Obviously, the government said that we're not actually going to do that. So, what's your opinion on free speech? And
Well, I would argue that everybody read a book called Why Nations Fail. It's one of my favourite books, and what that book shows very clearly, not to bore everyone about the details of the book, what it shows very clearly is that those countries with freedom, with democracy, with political freedom are the countries that go on and do very well. And they're compared, direct comparisons between sort of South America and North America. Because of course when the Europeans came over, South America was the richest part of the New World. And it shows that if you have democratic freedom, political freedom, then these countries go on and do very well. And I'd be very... I don't think it's right that we try to restrict political or freedom of expression in a way that would stop us progressing as a society. And I care very much of that. I think we start from the moment that I believe in freedom. I believe in free societies. I believe in free speech, and I believe in the freedom of everyone to make their own money, keep their property, and say what they want to say.
I think you're right. It's absolutely important. I mean, we have actually, I don't know if you heard, on this channel we're starting a free speech tour. We're actually going around the country, different constituencies. We're going to be in Manchester on the 9th of April. We're going to have some special guests and MPs. Hopefully one day you could join us as well.
Well, that's why I'm a Conservative.
Absolutely.
It's down to my bones.
To support, yes, absolutely. I mean, there are some core values that we all believe in. There are differences in policies, but core values that we always believe in. But yeah, if you want to join us on the 9th of April in Manchester, check out the link in the description, book your tickets as soon as possible. And thank you again so much for coming on the show, and best of luck with everything.
Let's do it.
Thank you very much.